Welcome. I am Asa Lanham, the Chief Executive Officer of Innovaro, and I'd like to spend a little bit of time to talk with you about the LaunchPad software product family. What I'd like to do first is talk a little bit about the capabilities of the LaunchPad software before we get into specific products. Part of what we've done in LaunchPad is to build in some very important but fundamental kinds of capabilities. One of those is the automated capture of information. And in today's environment, there's vast amounts of data out there. And so what we've done is we've built a combination of SEMbots and import capabilities that allow you to go after sites like Twitter and Facebook and Google+, various websites and blogs, and even pull in documents like Word and Excel and PowerPoint in order to be able to look for specific topics you're interested in. So what you do is configure the product and say, these are the topics I'm interested in. This is the data I want. It helps you get those and to bring them in to look at. Now, I'm sure you can appreciate that when you go out and look at those things, there's a lot of data that you can go out there and do. In one of our other examples we talked about, if you do a search with Google on the word coffee, you get back 380 million hits in about a quarter of a second. But what we help you do is to refine those to get the specific data pieces you want. And then we provide a capability for automated analysis through our semantic engine. And in that, we do text processing of all of the sources we talked about above, as well as natural language processing. We do tagging and annotation, and that can be done both automatic and manual. So we do some through the semantic engine, but we also give you the capability to identify key points that you feel are important from a tagging and an annotation standpoint to bring these to the forefront. And then we cluster those together. How do these fit? What do they relate to each other, both in terms of the information you collect and later on in the innovation journey at the ideas. And then we've got a whole set of built-in capabilities for e-learning. People join projects, they leave projects, new projects get started, and what we've tried to do is to build an e-learning capability in with articles and videos and a set of workbooks and exercises that are built in templates to help you become proficient in joining a team and completing an innovation journey. And we've also built in collaboration. And I like collaboration tools. Email's great, but this is primarily oriented around the team that's working together on an innovation journey, and it provides a mechanism for a whole series of threaded discussions. It provides the ability to share a document, lets you create what we call, quote, drawers, where you can put things in so you can have drawers full of documents about separate topics that can be shared and discussed, and to do all of that in a mechanism in a way that fits you well. So we've got three real modes of use for that. We've got what we call workspace, and workspace is where we actually implement the core functions. That's where the leading edge innovation practices are really implemented and the things that you would deal with on a functional basis, day in and day out. Learning space is all about our e-learning capabilities and helping you to really think like an innovator. It's getting you up to speed and understanding. And then team space. Team space is where we implement our collaboration capability. It's about a seamless global team, and it gives you the ability to work over long distances and to work asynchronously, and yet to be able to share that information and to work together. So what are the products? Briefly, we have 4 products in the Listen family. We have, in the LaunchPad family, we have Listen, which is all about sentiment analysis. Imagine, which focuses on ideation and incubation as part of the 4 I's to innovation. Design, which is all about investigation, getting information, getting better answers and results. And Accelerate, which is under development, which is about commercialization and experimentation. And I'll talk about each one of these in a little more detail. So why don't we first talk about Listen. Listen is all about sentiment analysis. And what it allows you to do is to monitor social media, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Yelp, websites, to be able to do analysis of sentiment. What do people feel? What do they say about your products, your services, your competitors, any topic that you think that you would like to listen to? Listen allows you to do that, and then provides a variety of ways to report against that to get more information. Now, if you want to learn more about Listen, there's a separate section that you can go to on the website. There's presentations, there's information that'll take you into it in depth. So it's not the intent to do that here, but just really to get you introduced. And what it simply allows you to do is you select the data source you want to listen to. What do I want to listen to? Twitter, Facebook, Google+. You pick your item. You can have as many topics as you like. You can listen for dogs or cats or frogs or German shepherds or coffee or anything that you like as a topic. And then you let Listen capture and analyze the data for you, right? And it comes back and displays the results in a variety of ways. And this is just one example of what we do. This is what we call the centimeter, which shows the positive and the negative sentiments in terms of from a scale from 0 to 9 positive for positive sentiments and 0 to 9 negative for negative sentiments, how many of each of the types that you have. And then you can look at the captured information as needed, and you can decide how you want the information displayed. And I can tell you that in the actual product, all this information is hot linked. So you can go to any particular piece of a graphic and say, let me see what women say, let me see what men say. And it brings up all of the information that are associated with those sources, and not only that information. So you can go in depth and look at actual commentary. The second one I want to talk about is Imagine. And Imagine is really the flagship in the line. And Imagine is all about ideation and incubation. And this is about how you discover the data, to generate the information, to create the insights, to get the ideas, to consolidate into business platforms, and finally into business concepts. And we really have three major phases in Imagine. This what we call Discover, Ideate, and Elaborate. And Discover really is all about capturing data. It's got extensive automated capture and analysis. It's very, very powerful in terms of what it'll let you bring in from various sources, as well as your own direct observations. You can input those as well. The semantic engine clusters all that data up into information so you can understand it, and it helps you to generate insights in terms of knowing more about your consumers, about your competencies, about discontinuities in the marketplace. And these products are built around our methodology. Again, there's a separate presentation on our methodology and how our products map into that's off the website that you can go to if you'd like to learn that as well. Ideate, the second phase, is all about crashing. It's about taking the insights that, we only sell products to women and all appliances are white, and saying, hey, maybe we should sell something to men, or maybe people want to buy appliances that just aren't white, and generating ideas out of there. And in crashing, part of the purpose is to generate large quantities of ideas. Think of this as a facilitated but a directed, almost a brainstorming session. And then the semantic engine comes back into play again. And what it does is it looks at all those ideas that you've generated and says, how do these fit together? What are the platforms? If someone said it's an AM radio and someone else said it's an FM radio, and then you say, hey, it's an AM FM radio, let's put these together. Maybe there's a DVD player, maybe there's a bunch of other things. That forms a platform about an entertainment center or media center. And then what we have is we have a whole set of guided dialogues that help you describe those platforms and to automatically generate documents that you can circulate for review. And when those documents are generated, it also brings in the data that you've used to support the insights, and the insights you've used to support the ideas and how to get to the platforms. And then the final stage in Imagine is elaboration. And elaboration is all about taking a platform and changing it into a business concept. And a platform is all about the product, and the business concept is really all about the consumer. It's how do you relate to them and why they should do this. What's the value proposition? How do I get my message across? And the guided dialogues that elaborate help you to describe those business concepts, bring information forward from the platforms, bring the information together from the ideas and the insights. And again, it helps you to automatically generate the documents that you need to circulate and review. Now, I do want to mention in here and Imagine that all of these guided dialogues and capabilities are what we call soft capabilities, meaning that we've built in knowledge to those from our own experience over time, but you have the ability to tailor and tune those specifically to your environment with other questions, with changes to the questions that are there, changing terms from one term to another that's more convenient and more effective for your organization. So that's Imagine. We don't let people just kind of try to figure this out on their own, though. I want to touch briefly on our innovation services because these are very, very important. And when someone decides they want to go on an innovation journey, we work with them to help them successfully complete that journey, whether it's in a diagnostic session, which is really what's the problem you're trying to solve, who are the team members, what are the roles they need. We do you a very short training on the webinar. Frankly, the product itself is very easy to learn, but then it's using it. So it's the Discovery Lab, how to capture it, how to generate insights, working with you to successfully do that. An Innovation Lab, which is all about crashing and generating ideas and getting to growth platforms. And then what we call an Action Lab, or sometimes an Elaboration, which is all about elaborating those concepts and really really building out the business concepts. So we work with you through that. You have a single dedicated innovation expert. We go through a series of on-site labs with you and then help to monitor your process and mentor you during the time to do that. We also offer some extended services to help integrate with third-party products, and perhaps you've got your own systems internally that you use to capture ideas in that. So we put that in as part of it as well. So there's quite a number of services that are all around LaunchPad, but it's all about making you successful in an innovation journey. I want to talk a little bit next about design. Design is the third component in the LaunchPad family, and design really begins to focus on business model development. And this is different than a business plan. It's not about a business plan, it's about the business model. It's about how do you allocate resources? How do you stretch this? When you take a look at it, you look at your value and benefits. What are the consumer values? What are the consumer benefits? What's the strategic fit with your own products? How does it fit into the marketplace? Opportunity economics. You know, we look at a triangulation of economics between internal and external market sizing, 3 different ways to say, what's the most likely marketplace that's really available to us? What are our competencies? You know, what are the potential partnerships and alliances we should have? Are there acquisitions that we should make? And what's this whole system of suppliers and distributors that we might need to be successful? And what are the channels and partners? You know, do I have the right sales organization? Do I have the right business model? You know, there are probably a dozen different business models out there, from multi-sided platforms to long tail systems to all of those kinds of things. And you really need to think about that. And last but not least in these certainly is, what are the unknowns? What are the things I don't know that I need to learn about? And what are my key assumptions? What are the key takeaways? So again, design is guided dialogue to help you do this. You can tailor it to your own uses. We provide a lot of information and the capability to build those things out, which then leads us to the final phase of the LaunchPad software product family, which is currently under implementation, right? And it's focused on implementation. Now, when we talk about implementation, we're really talking about the transitioning from innovation to commercialization. It doesn't replace traditional product lifecycle management. It's about balancing innovation and marketplace management. It helps you examine your go-to-market alternatives. It's about learning, what do we have to know, and then defining and designing experiments to learn. It's about learn before you commit your spending. So again, when you've identified your key assumptions and risks, how can we validate those? How can we test those? It looks at a variety of experiment types, whether they're cardboard prototypes, experimental brands, analogs, all of those kinds of things. And then help to focus developing experiments. You know, part of what we say is fail fast, fail early, fail cheap, because it's all about learning. And not only about learning, but it's about what are the likely outcomes, are the results conclusive, and what are the next steps. So that's really the 4 products in the family. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen, and be happy to talk with you more on any of the products in more depth in some of the other things we've put together. Thank you. Goodbye.